Alrighty, everyone. Well, game number 2 in this best of 5 series finds us on New Repugnancy LE. Spawning here, the top right-hand corner of the map, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's currently down, but certainly not out of the series just yet. His name is uThermal. And his opponent, spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Terran pieces. He's currently up and wants to continue rolling in his favor, and keeping this series, I should say, rolling in his favor. His name is none other than Clem. So, guys and girls, game number 1 in this best of 5 series was relatively back and forth. A lot of, it felt like Clem from the very beginning was really just putting on the aggression early on in the series and just wanted to continue, pushing and continue causing the problems for uThermal, and it started very early on in the game, and he just continued onward with the aggression and was able to overwhelm uThermal. And so now the question is how does uThermal end up, responding here? Does he do more of the same of what he did in game number 1, whereas, kind of trying to play a macro-focused game? Or is he going to go ahead and maybe, give us a little cheese, go for some timing pushes? I would love to see uThermal get a little bit more aggressive in this game. And Clem, if you're Clem, you got to be doing the same thing once again. I mean, you're trying to win this series. You don't want to give uThermal any chance at all at coming back. So in order to do that, you got to just keep on doing exactly what it is you were doing in game number 1, putting on that consistent aggression. So that said, it looks like let's talk about what both players are doing here in the early stages. You'll be seeing that very similar build orders this game, whereas a little bit differences in game number 1. But we're going to be seeing the barracks into the orbital command, followed by a factory by both players. So we're going to be seeing Reapers coming out of those barracks for both players. Try to get that early game scouting information. And so, like I said, guys, I think the narrative is more so around uThermal right now, because he's going to want to try to tie this game up and, get this series, kind of back in his controller and kind of try to turn the tides of momentum, which I think is something that he's going to need, because Clem, I mean, this is a guy who he's going to give it his all, and he actually has been surprising me how well he has been playing in the latest tournaments I've been watching him in. He's been doing he's been playing against some of the best players out there, and he has been, of course, for years, but he's able to, I've been noticing more and more, is able to really hold his own and actually take some games off of the best players in the world. So it's pretty fun to see the evolution of Clem's game. That said, we are going to see uThermal as well as Clem going for kind of continuing their economy and such, and it looks like they're going to continue that with their tech of choice, as in the starport. Seeing Cyclones that are going to be coming out now of that factory for Clem. Same can be said for uThermal. So very similar as far as build order compositions that both these players are kind of going for right now. And guys, I gotta say, these games have been very have been intense. I mean, I've been casting these tournaments, and man, some of these games are just absolutely incredible, to say the least, as we are going to see some of those Hellions as well as these Cyclones are going to kind of meet up near Clem's side of the map, which I do like, though. uThermal's kind of showing signs of, he wants to do he wants to put on a little bit of some pressure this game, which is what I really like. I like that he's the one kind of starting it out. He wants to kind of get a feel for what Clem is going to be doing in this game. Looks like a bunch of Marines are going to start moving out. Look at that formation. Beautiful formation by these Marines. Look at that. But to say the least, we are going to be seeing these Hellions are going to be, as well as the Cyclones, are going to be moving across the map here, as we are going to see the Reapers going to try to cause some problems in the main base location, as we are going to now see those Cyclones are going to be moving in towards the natural base command center. Got to be very careful. That siege tank is now in the high ground. Do not want to get in that range because that can be absolutely devastating. Raven is with those Cyclones. Got to be very careful. You do not want that Raven to get into range, and that Raven can, you know, they can cause some significant issues for other Terran players. A couple Ravens are now created for uThermal on his side of the map. We're going to be seeing Stimpak's going to be researched out of the tech lab now for Clem. We're going to be seeing some Vikings coming in now for uThermal as well. So both players giving each other a good amount of respect right now, which I do like a lot. It looks like we're going to get a nice macro-focused game as we're approaching that 6-minute mark in this one. So I like that we're going to be getting another macro-focused game. I mean, because these are the games that really show us how good are these players, not only at their macro, but also their micro. And that really determines who deserves to move on to the next round. And man, that Marine just got completely annihilated in 2. Guys, we've been talking, I've been talking about StarCraft 3, and man, can you imagine the graphics in a StarCraft 3? I mean, we think StarCraft 2, the graphics are just absolutely incredible for a real-time strategy game. Imagine what it would look like in StarCraft 3. We need to be echoing StarCraft 3 into existence, to say the least. But that being said, that's a conversation for another day. Here we go. Another Marine is trying to run to his death. And that's exactly what happens as he gets absolutely annihilated once again. These Cyclones are trying to cause some problems for these Marines. Absolutely do not stand a chance. But there are 3 siege tanks now. You got to be very, very careful. Back and forth engagements once again. And it does look like uThermal now is going to go ahead and get that 3rd command center down. Same can be said for Clem. He already has his orbital command. Looks like he is long distance mining. But we are going to see a nice sized army as Stimpak is going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds now for Clem. He's going to be moving across the map. And I like this decision a lot. Looks like he is going to try to take the fight to his opponent once again. And I believe that this is a very good decision by Clem, to say the least, because he just needs to be the one, I feel, to not allow uThermal any breathing room, not allow him to have the time of day to do a lot of damage. And here we go. The Vikings are just going back and forth. Those siege tanks are in a beautiful position as well. But man, those siege tanks are really doing some damage. As it does look like now, Clem and uThermal are kind of somewhat at a stalemate here near that natural command center. Looks like Clem is going to try to get into position here, as now those siege tanks are in range of the refinery. Beautiful positioning here by Clem. And Clem, I love the way that he's playing right now. Absolutely creating problems for his opponent. He's doing exactly what he needs to kind of keep uThermal uncomfortable. And it does look like those +1/+1 upgrades are going to be coming in now for Clem. The same can be said for uThermal, but however, he is getting those +1/+1 upgrades out of the armory. Vehicle weapons level 1 and vehicle plating level 1 are going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds now for uThermal. And it does look like at this point, Clem is going to decide to head back home. Infantry weapons level 1 and infantry armor level 1 are just finishing up now for Clem. So both players are, getting those upgrades. They're trying to, stay ahead of one another as far as the upgrade game is concerned. Combat shields finishing up as well. So both players, though, are, it's pretty neck and neck once again. I feel that Clem had a little bit of a better engagement earlier, so he does have a slight lead as far as the supply count is concerned. However, uThermal is still certainly in this thing. I mean, there is no doubt about it. This guy is not out of it. I've seen, many times uThermal has come back from a deficit and won. And so we do see Clem, who's going for that 4th command center at this point in time. uThermal already has his mate as well. But yeah, like I said, both players really giving each other a lot of respect. But I do feel that Clem, once again, he wants to move out. You can just tell that he's getting kind of fidgety. He does not like giving his opponent too much time. And I love that. I love that about what Clem is doing right now. He doesn't seem like he wants to stay complacent and allow his opponent to dictate the pace of the game. But man, there are a lot of siege tanks out for uThermal. uThermal has got to win this game, I believe, in order to win this series, because it's going to be very difficult to come from a 2-0 deficit to win it, to win. So you got to win this one, and I think uThermal knows that, and so he's going to kind of just take his time. He feels that he can out macro his opponent, as we do see Clem moving out once again. Concussive Shells is finished up now, and both players are just so good at, at those scans, knowing exactly what is going on, as we are going to see both players are now going to... It's all going to come down to the positioning, really. When you look at this, it's all going to come down to who's got that high ground vision and who is going to be the one causing the most problems, as we are going to see a couple of those medevacs are going to fly away, and I love this. This could be absolutely huge, because exactly what Clem is trying to do is he's trying to split up his army right now, and he wants to create some extremely... he wants to create the problems in that main base location, most likely. Maybe not. Maybe he wants to go to that third base location. I don't know. It's hard to say. But I thought that he was going to try to fly into that main base location. Does look like he does pick right back up, and now he's going to start moving out. But uThermal is not really in a very good position here, because we are going to see now they're going to drop down right on top of all of these units. Beautiful play there by Clem. He's going to try to get this around once again on one of those siege tanks. Does look like he is going to be able to clean that one up, but these siege tanks got that high ground vision. Oh man, here we go. Clem is once again just starting to take getting little tiny victories here. That is absolutely helping him so much, but it does look like maybe uThermal's going to go for the counterattack here, as we are going to see that planetary fortress is absolutely getting destroyed right now. And it's only a matter of time until that thing is going to probably fall, as as once again, both players are going back and forth with these Vikings. There is going to be a counterattack here over at that 5th base location of Clem, but I just feel that uThermal is in a lot of trouble right now, as we are going to see a lot of units are just going down here. Doesn't look like just target firing down that planetary fortress, but those SCVs are holding on for dear life right now, as we are going to see both of them just kind of going back and forth. As ship weapons level 1 is going to be finished up in less than 10 seconds now for Clem, and it looks like another bulk of the army is going to start trying to probably move around here, trying to do as much damage as possible. Once again, though, it does look like Clem has broken free, and we are now going to see a good chunk of this army is now going to start moving in. That planetary fortress is there, though. You got to be very, very careful with that, as that base does go down. That planetary fortress does go down, I should say, and it does look like both of these players are just trading jabs at one another. Planetary fortress is down, and oh man, these SCVs are getting absolutely executed at the hand of those siege tanks. Infantry weapons level 3 is going to be finished up in less than 5 seconds now for Clem. And as we are approaching that 14.5-minute mark, these SCVs are just trying to like sneak away from these Vikings, these landed Vikings here. But both players just are, just doing, good amounts of damage. I gotta say that uThermal, I feel, is definitely not in. He's certainly not in the lead right now. Clem was able to take out that planetary fortress, was able to just create some substantial problems for his opponent. Man, absolutely crazy, man. Back and forth we go as uThermal is doing everything he possibly can to stay in this game. He does not want to allow Clem to go up 2-0. That would be absolutely terrible for him, as vehicle plating level 2 is going to be finishing up in less than 5 seconds now for Clem. And we are going to see another death ball of units that includes Marauders. I think there's a couple Marines in there. You got some siege tanks as well as Vikings. So a very tanky kind of unit composition. And here we go, as we do see this army is going to come in here and is going to try to take out these both of these orbital commands as quick as possible. Looks like one is certainly going to go down. The other could very well go down here very soon as well. That's exactly what happens. And oh man, Clem is just slowly but surely shredding his opponent and bleeding him dry as of right now. Just absolutely doing a ton of damage with this death ball of units. Now uThermal is still not out of this game just yet, but man, it is going to be a difficult thing to have to deal with here, as Clem is just slowly but surely bleeding his opponent dry. Lots of just a lot of lost mining time here, as you're seeing such a long route to get those minerals in. But here we go once again. It does look like uThermal wants to take one last jab at it to try to get a win here, or at least win this engagement. But oh man, uThermal, his supply is absolutely plummeting. GG is called, and Clem takes a commanding 2-0 lead over his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Clem and uThermal, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in game number 3.